Hello and welcome to Elizabeth Hogarth Designs. I'm going to be making a quick tutorial today and I'm using a beautiful set of Christmas papers by Prima Marketing. These are called Christmas Market, and here I'm flicking through the 6x6 papers. They're vintage style with a modern twist, which is very me. And they've got a set of matching tags, all very useful images. And in addition, there are 2 sheets of self-adhesive chipboard elements. They're heavy weight and they're very good quality, so they'll be a pleasure to work with. I'm using some pink card and I'm using the Strawberry Moon Etched Rectangle Dies, and I'm going to be showing you how to make a tag using this very versatile little die. A stamp comes in handy along with some vintage colour ink, but first I'm going to show you how to make the tag book, which was a request by Teresa Jackson, who saw the original tag book I made on the launch of Faded Florals. From the pink card I die cut 5 of the outer frames, and then I'm using the smaller inside frame to die cut the patterned paper. I picked a selection of the papers. There's 4 of each, so you can use the front or the back. Everything works together. And then I'm bringing in the smaller rectangle, and I use this to die cut some extra elements because the medium and the small frames fit on 1 sheet of 6x6 paper. So I was using up the elements, and here I've got a very pretty set of extra tags. Here comes this very versatile inner die, and I'm using the same pink card, and I cut through this 5 more times, and I'm going to use this die to create the spine. So using a scoreboard and a ball tool, I'm working within the scalloped points, so I'm lining up the channel with the line of my scoreboard, and I'm creating a clean, crisp scoreline that I can then fold. Fold all 5 pieces in the same way, so you've got a valley and a mountain. I prefer to burnish these score lines to give myself a crisp edge, so I'm using a bone folder, just securing those fold lines down. And there we've got the valley and the mountain. So I went slightly ahead off camera and I stuck these together using some wet glue, and it's important that you have time to leave this to dry. You can use red liner tape, but I found that the pink frog glue is perfectly acceptable. So I'm adhering the valley and the mountain fold together, lining up the top and the bottom, and then this will be left to dry while I prepare the pages and the decorative elements. Now my focus is edging each one of the decorative panels with some vintage photo oxide ink. And I'm not being too heavy with this, it's just to cover the white edges. I don't want it to look too aged on this particular project. So I'll quickly run around all 5 pages, and you can see close up how pretty the decorative papers are from Prima Marketing. And because I want to make other projects with this set, I'm going to make it go further by stamping on the reverse of the pages. So I'm bringing in the stamp that I showed you earlier. It's a Creative Expression stamp, and I'm using the natural linen and the pink inks from Graphic 45. And these are a soft vintage effect, and it's just taking away the harsh white of the paper. I'm going to use a blend of both inks, and they don't have to be perfect. I want them to look like they are old book pages. So I'm using a combination of the two colours, and I stamp all 5 pages. I find a stamping platform really useful for this kind of task, because you can go back in and you can darken the effect, but equally feel free to use a stamping block, or if you don't want to have this look at all, then go back to the Prima paper and double up on the pages, and then you can add decorative paper to the front and the back. So there's the look of the stamped images, and then I'm ready to adhere the decorative panels to the front of the pink card. While I'm adding the decorative papers, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. I'm growing slowly, and every subscription does mean the world to me, so thank you for your support. The main panels are ready to go now, so I'm going to bring in the folded spine that we have created, and I'm using wet glue, so I'm lining it up on the top edge of the front cover of the tag book. And then I'm going to work with the pink card on the outside. Then I'm adding wet glue to the first edge of the mounting fold. I tend to add the front panel first, and once this is securely in place, I will then work on the next fold down. Take your time with this part. So there you can see that the glue is holding that front panel securely in place. The next page will then be added to the white side of the next mounting fold. Use the right angle of the card to line this up with the front panel, and give the wet glue plenty of time to adhere. By adding the pages to every other fold, you're creating a mini spine, and this is how I created the first tag book. You can add as many pages as you like, and all you need to do is wait for the wet glue to dry and then move on to the next panel. To add the back cover now, and you'll see that I've got an extra piece of spine So I'm still securing it to the mounting fold, and then I'm bringing the excess spine around the back and securing that into place. This will then be hidden, or if you prefer, you can cut the excess away and then hide it with a little piece of paper. So I'm going to cut this away, and then I'm ready to tackle the inside pages. I wanted to add a pocket to the covers, so I cut another pattern piece of paper using the panel die, and then I cut it in half, and I'm going to use both of these as pockets. I've got a corner punch, and I'm going to add a little thumb mark very simply into the centre of each panel. And again, I'm going to finish it off with vintage photo, just to bring all of the colours together. Now I'm ready to add some wet glue to the pocket. I decided that I wanted a little more interest to the inside pocket, so I'm using these scraps that are left over from the initial die cutting, and each time I'm inking it and playing around, just seeing what works to add some more interest to the pocket. This tag book really is to show you and Teresa how to use the spine, and you can make the book as big as you like, but I'm using all of the elements here to create the pockets. Then I'm bringing in the tags from the tag set, and I'm combining them with the die cut tags that I created. And I think that this would make a beautiful photo album, or you could turn it into a little album where you keep memories of Christmas, you know, silly little things like jokes from the cracker, or some funny things that somebody said. It's however you want to work with it, but I would add some tuck spots, I would add some written journal notes. I think that nearer the time I will know what to add to the other pages, so I'm going to keep all of the smaller elements, and I think I'll add some plain paper to some of these tags. I'm adding the pre-made tags to the inside of the spine here, but again, these can be adapted later on to make the tag journal useful to you. But the aim here is to give you the overall guide on how the small spine works, because I think that's a really useful little die in that Etched Rectangle set, and you can use it for your sentiments as well. I'm also using the tags on the inside spine, and I was seeing what it would look like if I covered it up, but I preferred it without. I'm using a very old bow maker and some wide ribbon to create a bow for the front cover. I cut the ends and shape the bow while it's still on the comb, and then when I'm happy with the shape, I will bring in some pin flare glue and I will add it to the corner of the little tag book. The ephemera is actually sticky backed, but I'm going to use some wet glue as well. I only want a little something to add some more interest to the front of the tag. I decided that the globe was a little bit too big and ended up just using the sentiment, and then when I was happy with that I added some Stickles white glitter glue. Here's a final look through the tag book again. It's a simple idea and you can adapt it to your papers and to your cardstock. You can make as many pages as you like, you can add pockets, you can add tags. It works well with these vintage designs, and I will leave you photos of the original faded floral tag book that I made as well. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to welcoming you back to Elizabeth Hogarth Designs very soon. Take care and happy crafting.